The day I suggested breaking up during a game of truth or dare, my boyfriend, Ethan, acted relieved. Later that day, he announced his relationship with my cousin Clara. Seriously? Was dumpster diving a hobby of hers? It all started at a high school reunion. Someone suggested truth or dare, and my luck, or rather lack thereof, landed me in the hot seat. The dare. Break up with your significant other. It was just a prank and I wasn't worried. Ethan and I had known each other for 8 years, since high school, and had been dating for 6. We had complete trust in each other. He wouldn't get upset. Amidst the playful jeers, I dialed his number. Ethan, we're breaking up. Everyone around me giggled, covering their mouths. A second later I blushed, ready to apologize and explain. But then Ethan's voice, laced with relief, came through the phone. Since you found out, I guess we're breaking up. My mind went blank. A deafening buzz like a jackhammer filled my ears. My best friend Chloe pulled me outside. We walked to the river. The autumn air was crisp and cold. Chloe gripped my arm tightly, probably afraid I'd jump. What's going on with Ethan? He wouldn't break up with you. Is it because of Clara? I stared at Chloe, surprised. Clara was back? A woman's intuition told me that Ethan's recent late nights at work, unanswered texts, and missed calls were all connected to her. You didn't know? Clara came back this month. That cousin of yours is like a bad penny, always turning up. Chloe and I had been in the same class since middle school. She knew me better than my own mother. She was right. Clara was my cousin, a distant relative whose presence had cast a shadow over my childhood and teenage years. After Clara's parents died in a car accident when I was in 3rd grade, her great-aunt took her in. She was held back a year, landing her in my class. My family insisted she was a child who had suffered and deserved our kindness. I, ever obedient, showered her with attention, sharing my toys and treats. Slowly, I realized things weren't as simple as they seemed. Some people, like my cousin Clara, were wolves in sheep's clothing. This doll is so cute. I'll take it. Where did you get that pen? I didn't see it at the store. Give it to me, you can just buy another one. That dress is pretty. I'll borrow it. It doesn't look as good on you anyway. She was right about that last part. She was prettier than me. Anyone could see that. Once, she took my learning computer, something my dad had saved a month's salary to buy. Even a rabbit bites when cornered. I fought back, only to be scolded severely, left wiping away tears as she smirked, clutching my prized possession. From then on, I became withdrawn, avoiding her whenever possible. But she only escalated, coveting everything I had. Then in high school I met Ethan, a tall, kind and genuine boy. Of course, Clara set her sights on him too. While Ethan pursued me, Clara pursued him relentlessly. With letters, gifts, and attention on every conceivable holiday. Our love triangle became the school's hottest gossip, more dramatic than any soap opera. We ended up in the same city for college, and Ethan and I officially became a couple. Still, she persisted. Ethan seemed disgusted by her advances, or at least he led me to believe that. I saw Clara today. Her club is collaborating with ours on a project. I didn't go, he'd say. Ethan always maintained clear boundaries, reassuring me. Even after graduation and into our working lives, I trusted him implicitly. I thought it would always be this way. I was wrong. When I felt most secure, he dealt the cruelest blow. My phone rang, pulling me from my reverie. Hope flickered. Maybe it was Ethan playing a joke. We'd been together for so long, even a breakup wouldn't be this abrupt. I checked the screen. It wasn't him. My heart sank. Then, a notification popped up. A new post from Clara. I clicked instinctively. Clara had posted a picture of her and Ethan, showcasing matching rings on their fingers. The caption: "Every unexpected encounter is a reunion long awaited. I'm glad I didn't give up. I finally have you." They had gone public. Those two-faced snakes. Ethan's a total jerk. He's worse than Benedict Arnold. At least Benedict Arnold married a princess. Look what he ended up with. Chloe fumed, staring at the screen. I only glanced at the photo. My eyes stung and tears landed cold on my hand. My thumb accidentally hit the like button. It had been a long game, but she had finally won. Just last month, Ethan had been talking about our future. Now he had kicked me to the curb. His future didn't include me. I was a laughingstock. Thank goodness for best friends. Chloe took me home with her. I wallowed, hiding in my shell, trying to heal and process the emotional wreckage. It's just a breakup. Don't lose your mind over it. Do you think he cares that you're moping around here? Come on, I'm taking you to confront them. Chloe, in her fury, didn't actually drag me to commit arson. Instead, she took me to the hospital. She was convinced I needed therapy. While waiting in line, I bumped into Ethan and Clara. Audrey, what are you doing here? We've been so worried. Where have you been? Your phone's been off, and you haven't been answering messages. Your mom's especially frantic. Clara beamed, not showing a shred of concern. Mentioning my family was the last straw. Years of suppressed resentment surged forward. I wanted to tear her apart. How dare she steal my things, my boyfriend, and act so nonchalant? Who gave her the right? Don't worry about my mom, cousin. You should be more concerned about your great-aunt. She'd have a heart attack if she knew you were playing the other woman. Clara froze, clearly not expecting me to go on the offensive. Ethan's face turned crimson. He looked utterly humiliated. Whatever you have to say it to me. Don't take it out on Clara. I laughed, throwing my filled-out hospital form in his face. Both of you need to see a psychiatrist. You're delusional. Today I finally saw them for who they were, a perfect match. One twisted reality, the other blindly followed, both selfish to the core. I turned and strode away. Chloe, who had been on a phone call, rushed after me. Aren't you seeing the doctor? Why are you leaving? What kind of hospital is this? It's full of crazy people. Chloe looked bewildered. The writer Ishu once said, a woman needs either a lot of love or a lot of money. After a week of wallowing, I contacted my family and returned to work, determined to focus on my career and earn my fortune. My colleagues welcomed me back with warmth and concern. My supervisor, Lisa, brought me a hot coffee and a croissant. Audrey, feeling better? I nodded. I had used illness as an excuse for my absence, unwilling to burden them with my negativity. Lisa smiled. Good. We're having a company dinner tonight. You're coming. I started to decline, but Lisa cut me off. No excuses. You're coming. That effectively silenced my protest. Night fell. Our company had booked the entire restaurant. My team was having a great time, and I had been persuaded to have a few drinks. Lisa suggested truth or dare. The word sent a shiver down my spine, but it passed quickly. I joined in, wanting everyone to have fun. Then the arrow pointed at me. My luck or lack thereof struck again. Fueled by liquid courage, I chose dare without hesitation. Lisa, in high spirits, pointed across the room. See that guy with his back to us? The one with the amazing physique? Audrey, go kiss him. Kiss him. Kiss him. Kiss him. The chants erupted around me. Blushing, I didn't want to be a spoilsport. I stumbled towards the man. Drawn by the aura of elegance he exuded even from behind. Him. It had to be him. Hello. I mumbled, my face burning. The handsome stranger turned slowly. My stomach dropped when I saw his face. It was Mr. Cameron, our CEO. He was a notorious workaholic. He should have been at the office, not here. Panicked, I forced a smile. Sorry to bother you, Mr. Cameron. Please carry on. I stumbled back, wanting to flee, but my heel caught, and I nearly fell. Careful. Mr. Cameron caught me, his hand firm on my shoulder, holding me close. I inhaled the scent of his woodsy cologne, intoxicatingly familiar. I looked up, meeting his gaze. My reflection shimmered in his dark eyes. Perhaps it was the alcohol, but I felt reckless. I looped my arms around his neck and pulled his head down. He obliged, bending closer. And then I kissed him. His lips were cool against mine. I heard gasps around us, followed by cheers. My heart sank. I was so dead. Mom, your daughter just kissed the CEO. I'm getting fired. The next morning, I woke up with a pounding headache. Oh no, I was late for work. Then I looked around, realizing I wasn't home. I was in a hotel room. I clutched the sheets, checking myself. Intact. I breathed a sigh of relief, then noticed Mr. Cameron, impeccably dressed, walking in from the living room. Awake. What was he doing here? Wait, what was I thinking? Nothing happened between us. My palms sweated. I wanted to slap myself. Of all the people to kiss last night, it had to be the CEO. My job was definitely on the line. Mr. Cameron, how did I get here? Where's Lisa? I stammered, forcing a smile. You were quite intoxicated last night. Lisa and the others were in no condition to provide your address. I brought you up here to rest. His explanation was concise, his dark eyes unreadable. I looked away, unable to meet his gaze. Mr. Cameron, thank you for taking care of me. His response was neutral, increasing my anxiety. I checked the time. I could still make it to work. Mr. Cameron, about my job. Can I still keep it? I asked tentatively. He smiled. Breakfast is ready. After you eat, I'll drive you to work. Relief washed over me. I still had a job. Mr. Cameron drove me to the office. As I walked in, everyone stared at me with a strange mixture of curiosity and amusement. I shuffled to my desk, acutely aware of my monumental embarrassment. Lisa rushed over, bubbling with excitement. So, Audrey, when did you and Mr. Cameron become an item? What are you talking about? I was completely confused. Lisa winked. Pictures of you two kissing have exploded all over the company chat. I get it now. Last night wasn't a dare. It was an announcement, right? He wouldn't have kissed you if you weren't his girlfriend. Wait, Mr. Cameron kissed me? Wasn't it the other way around? My heart pounded. I grabbed my phone, frantically checking the company chat. It was flooded with pictures of me kissing Mr. Cameron. The comments were relentless. If I'd known I could kiss Mr. Cameron, I would have gotten drunk too. Yeah, right. Like he'd let you kiss him. Be quiet, everyone. Don't you think Audrey and Mr. Cameron look good together? Totally. The kissing pictures are making me swoon. So romantic. My colleagues were practically weeping with envy. I, on the other hand, wanted to cry from regret. Then, a new message popped up in the chat. The ID Mr. Cameron. I held my breath. The lively chat went silent. After a moment, someone typed, "Is that you, Mr. Cameron?" "Yes," he replied simply. Emboldened, the person asked, "Mr. Cameron, is Audrey your girlfriend?" My heart leaped into my throat. My fingers flew across the keyboard. Of course not. Don't be ridiculous. Mr. Cameron and I are just colleagues. It felt like I was digging myself a deeper hole. Mr. Cameron replied, "Not yet." I sighed in relief. Then he added, "Because I'm still pursuing her." The world went black. I was doomed. The office erupted in cheers. Lisa led the charge. I can't believe it. The future Mrs. Cameron is in our department. Way to go, Audrey. This was a massive misunderstanding. Fueled by Lisa, my colleagues started calling me Mrs. Cameron, asking for favors. I wanted to crawl under my desk. Just that morning, I was worried about being fired. This turn of events was utterly surreal. Meanwhile, after 3 seconds of stunned silence in the company chat, someone from the secretarial pool typed, "Go get her, Mr. Cameron." The others chimed in. They're a perfect match. Allow me to bow down to Audrey. Amazing. Yes. The universe owes me a truth or dare game. Wah. I gripped my phone, taking deep breaths. Mr. Cameron was the sun, too bright for me to reach. But this sun seemed to be orbiting me. What was I supposed to do? From that day on, I kept running into Mr. Cameron. He'd find excuses to treat our department to afternoon tea, pastries, and all sorts of snacks. All my favorites, I realized. He even started attending our departmental meetings. I became his de facto personal assistant, constantly being summoned for various tasks. I was flustered, losing sleep, unable to decipher his intentions. Could the CEO actually be pursuing me? One afternoon, I had just sat down when Mr. Cameron appeared again. He tapped my desk. "Audrey, come with me." Lisa had made it clear. I was on 24/7 call for Mr. Cameron, with no right to refuse. I grabbed my bag and followed him, my heels clicking on the floor. He was taking me on a store inspection tour. He walked briskly ahead while I trailed behind, taking notes. In every store, he was meticulous, inquiring about every detail. The female employees, of course, were mesmerized, their eyes following him long after he left. Watching their starstruck expressions, I thought, he's a heartbreaker. The heartbreaker had long legs and an even longer stride. I was struggling to keep up. I glanced down at my feet. Blisters had formed on my heels and toes. I sighed. I should have worn flats. Determined not to hinder his work, I gritted my teeth and pushed on. I slowed down considerably, until Mr. Cameron turned around and saw me practically crawling behind him. He strode back to me. "What's wrong with your foot?" I didn't answer. He followed my gaze down to my shoes and frowned. I forced a smile. "It's nothing, Mr. Cameron. You go ahead. I'll catch up." My smile seemed to unsettle him. He bent down without a word and scooped me into his arms. Startled, I instinctively clung to his neck, glancing around nervously. Thankfully, it wasn't crowded. No one seemed to notice. Mr. Cameron, however, remained composed. He carried me to a seating area and gently set me down. "Sit here. Don't move." He pointed to a bench, his expression serious. I nodded obediently and watched as he disappeared. He returned moments later carrying a shopping bag. He crouched before me and pulled out a bottle of pain relief spray. He took my ankle in his hand, about to remove my shoe. "Mr. Cameron, I can do it," I protested. "Don't move." He ignored my protest and rested my foot on his knee. He sprayed the blisters and carefully applied bandages. The warmth of his fingers sent shivers down my spine. My blood rushed to my face, turning it crimson. After bandaging my blisters, he pulled a shoebox from the bag. Inside, nestled in tissue paper, was a pair of flat shoes. My heart skipped a beat when I saw the logo. They were worth 3 months of my salary. He took them out and placed them before me. "Put these on." I shook my head vigorously. "No, Mr. Cameron. They're too expensive." He ignored my protest and slipped the shoes onto my feet. "Nothing is more valuable than you." His words sent my heart racing. He was tall, handsome, and charismatic. He was out of my league. I shook my head, trying to banish any inappropriate thoughts. He chuckled, amused by my reaction. "Stand up and try them." With his help, I stood. The shoes were incredibly soft and comfortable. Expensive, yes, but also incredibly comfortable. "Thank you, Mr. Cameron." I offered a grateful smile. His eyes darkened, becoming unreadable. For the rest of the tour, he slowed his pace considerably. I glanced up at him. His back was straight, showing no sign of fatigue. He had incredible stamina. He seemed to sense my exhaustion. He turned to me and extended his hand. "Let me help you. This is the last store." I had held him back after all. He took my wrist, gently supporting my arm as we entered the store. The brand manager, Mr. Gregory, was also there. He saw Mr. Cameron's solicitous behavior and teased him. "Mr. Cameron, it's the first time I've seen you bring a lady to the store." He looked me over, his smile widening. "Your girlfriend." I started to deny it, but Mr. Cameron interrupted, a smile playing on his lips. "I'm working on it." My face burned. He was fueling all those forbidden feelings. Mr. Gregory beamed and clapped Mr. Cameron on the shoulder. "Good luck. Let me know when you have good news." "Definitely," Mr. Cameron replied, his tone unwavering. My heart beat even faster. That evening, out of gratitude, I treated Mr. Cameron to spicy crawfish. I expected him to decline, but then I watched, mesmerized, as his long, elegant fingers peeled the shells for me. My cheeks burned. I hadn't intended to unleash his charm. I just wanted to repay him for the shoes. Soon my bowl was piled high with peeled crawfish. Blushing, I ate diligently, perhaps a bit too enthusiastically. The next morning, I woke with a searing stomachache. Unable to go to work. Called in sick. Through the haze of pain, I heard the doorbell. I assumed it was Chloe. I opened the door to find Mr. Cameron standing there, holding several bags. "Mr. Cameron? What are you doing here?" "Making you some porridge," he said, stepping past me into my apartment. He had gone to the office looking for me, learned about my stomachache from Lisa, gotten my address, and come straight over. Now he was in my tiny kitchen wearing my cartoon-printed apron, stirring a pot of porridge. I sat on the sofa, clutching a hot water bottle he had given me, watching him move around my apartment with a mixture of awe and apprehension. No one would believe that the renowned CEO was cooking for me. It was all so surreal. The aroma of congee with pork and preserved egg, along with several delectable side dishes, filled the air. I swallowed hard as Mr. Cameron handed me a pair of chopsticks. "Eat up." Having not eaten all day, I was famished. I took a spoon and began sipping the congee. It was delicious. "Slow down," Mr. Cameron said, his eyes soft with affection. After finishing the bowl, my stomach felt much better. My heart warmed. During my relationship with Ethan, I had mostly been the caregiver. Now being pampered felt strangely moving. I ate a little too quickly, leaving a smear of broth on my lip. Mr. Cameron chuckled and wiped it away with a napkin. Just like a child. I blushed, avoiding his gaze. An undeniable spark flickered between us, perhaps fueled by the cozy atmosphere and soft lighting. A restless energy buzzed within me. Suddenly my phone rang, shattering the moment. I fumbled to answer. Audrey, did you break up with Ethan? My mom's voice boomed through the speaker. Honey, don't worry. I never liked that jerk anyway. Good riddance. I support you. My mom had always been protective. Whenever Clara stole something from me, she'd wave it off, saying, "Forget that junk. Come on, Mom. We'll buy you a new one." Clara would fume, seeing me with even better toys or clothes, but my mom's fierce personality kept her in check. I listened, amused and touched, as my mom continued her tirade. Apparently, Clara, eager to flaunt her newly acquired boyfriend, had announced her intention to bring Ethan home before the new year. If her great-aunt approved, they planned to set a wedding date during the family gathering. My mom sighed on the phone. I felt a pang of guilt. Despite her tough exterior, my parents always felt my pain whenever Clara one-upped me. I could endure embarrassment in front of my family but not my parents. Impulsively I blurted out, "Mom, don't worry. I'll bring home someone better than Ethan before the new year." My mom's voice lit up with excitement. "Wonderful. I'll tell your dad right away." She hung up before I could backpedal. The words were out. I had to find a boyfriend before the new year, real or fake. I mentally scanned my acquaintances. No one fit the bill. As if reading my mind, Mr. Cameron, who had overheard my conversation, spoke calmly. "Well, there's a perfectly good candidate right here." He was right. My boldness surprised even me. I was actually considering asking the CEO to be my fake boyfriend. So, knowing that Clara was bringing Ethan home on Sunday, I steeled my nerves and contacted Mr. Cameron. Without hesitation, he picked me up early Sunday morning and drove me to my parents' house. As we pulled up, my mom shot out the door like a rocket, followed closely by my dad. They stood before Mr. Cameron, their gazes scrutinizing him like X-rays. Despite my mom's discerning eye, Mr. Cameron's striking features quickly won her over. Her smile grew wider and wider until her face resembled a blooming flower. Mr. Cameron bowed politely. "Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Evans. You look so young and beautiful, Mrs. Evans." Flattered by such a charming man, my mom practically glowed. "Oh, you flatter me, Mr. Cameron. People often mistake Audrey and me for sisters when we go out." She winked at me as if to say, "Well done, honey. You finally brought home a decent man." I squirmed under her gaze. Mr. Cameron smiled and handed my mom the gifts he had brought. She accepted them warmly, and my parents ushered him inside, flanking him like royalty. I trailed behind, accepting my newly demoted status. My parents disappeared into the kitchen. As Mr. Cameron and I entered the living room, we heard Clara's distinctive, high-pitched laugh. She was entertaining her great-aunt, showering Ethan with praise, and basking in the attention of our relatives. There it was again, that familiar feeling of being overshadowed by Clara. Mr. Cameron seemed to sense my mood and took my hand. His palm was warm, and I managed a small smile. Clara's smile faltered when she saw me with a man. Ethan looked surprised and displeased. I squeezed Mr. Cameron's hand and walked towards the group. Clara stood and gestured towards the sofa opposite her. "Audrey, you're back. Come sit." Her tone was possessive, as if she owned the place. Ignoring her, I led Mr. Cameron to my great-aunt and introduced him. "Great-aunt, this is my boyfriend, Mr. Cameron." He greeted her politely and respectfully, charming everyone instantly. Clara's smile vanished when she heard him call himself my boyfriend. Ethan's face darkened. I smirked and led Mr. Cameron to a nearby bench. He picked up an orange, peeled it and tasted a segment. I assumed he was just making himself comfortable, but then he offered me the next segment. Confused, I looked at him. He smiled. "I tested it for you. It's sweet." He continued feeding me slices of orange one by one. He was right, it was sweet. Looking at the affectionate smile on his face, I couldn't tell if he was acting or being genuine. Our relatives praised his attentiveness. I blushed, enjoying the attention even if the boyfriend was fake. Ethan finally spoke. "Where do you work, Mr. Cameron?" Mr. Cameron continued feeding me orange slices, not even glancing at Ethan. "We work at the same company, actually." Clara puffed up with pride. "Ethan is a department manager. With hard work, he'll be promoted to middle management soon." I chuckled inwardly. Seriously? That was her bragging point? Mr. Cameron smiled faintly. "I don't need to be promoted to management." He fed me the last slice of orange. "Because I own the company." Ethan and Clara gasped, their faces a kaleidoscope of emotions. I couldn't resist twisting the knife. I snuggled closer to Mr. Cameron. Darling, this orange is so sweet. You're so good to me. Their faces soured even more. Years of pent-up frustration finally found its release. Did Mr. Cameron just pull me even closer? Satisfied, I took Mr. Cameron's hand, ready to escape the scene. Before we could stand, Clara spoke, her voice trembling with fake tears. Mr. Cameron, you probably don't know, but Audrey just broke up with Ethan. She tends to use other men as rebounds. Please don't blame her. She can't help it. The expressions of our older relatives turned disapproving. My parents, who had just entered the living room, looked worriedly at Mr. Cameron. I trembled with anger. Clara was a master manipulator. Her words implied that. I was still hung up on Ethan. I glanced at him. His lips were pressed together, his eyes darting between me and Mr. Cameron, a mixture of smugness and uncertainty in his expression, as if he thought Clara had a point. Miss Evans, Mr. Cameron said, his voice cutting through the tension. My heart skipped a beat. You might want to get your eyes checked. Me a rebound? Are you sure he measures up? He squeezed my hand, his voice firm and clear. Audrey and I have both chosen each other. His expression was sincere, his voice captivating. He was a brilliant actor. I wanted to applaud him. With that performance, he deserved an Oscar. He paused, clearly not finished. As for you, Miss Evans, I've heard you have a habit of taking what belongs to Audrey. This time you've done us a favor by taking out the trash. Audrey is kind and doesn't hold grudges, but I do. I don't like seeing her mistreated. So from now on, I suggest you behave yourself. How did he know about Clara's habit of stealing my things? I had never told him. Clara's face paled. Her composure cracked, revealing a flash of anger that even startled Ethan. The relatives' gazes shifted, now filled with disapproval. It was the first time I had seen anyone completely dismantle Clara's facade. My parents looked triumphant, barely suppressing their applause. Mr. Cameron led me out of the living room and across the courtyard. I was ecstatic. Mr. Cameron, if the business ever goes under, you have a future in acting. You'd win awards for sure. He chuckled and ruffled my hair. Don't worry, the company is doing very well. We're going public soon. Going public? He was truly something else. Throughout dinner, my mood remained euphoric. I piled food onto Mr. Cameron's plate, vying with my parents, who were completely enamored with their new favorite. Mr. Cameron graciously accepted everything. As he drove me home, I racked my brain for a way to thank him. Finally, as I got out of the car, I blurted out, Mr. Cameron, thank you for today. I sent you a red envelope on WeChat for gas money. I know it's not much, but I'll work hard to repay you. Audrey, do you think I have nothing better to do? He tapped my head lightly. I stared at him, confused, wondering if I should offer him more money. He leaned over and unbuckled my seatbelt, pulling me into a hug. I really do want to be your boyfriend. My mind reeled. Both logic and emotion told me he was serious. From that day on, Mr. Cameron became a regular weekend guest at my parents' house. They treated him like family. I, on the other hand, had become completely irrelevant in my own home. The day after New Year's, my mom handed Mr. Cameron a large bag of homemade marinated snacks. Mr. Cameron, we're entrusting Audrey to your care. My mom's words were loaded with meaning. She was a shrewd one. Don't worry, Mrs. Evans. I'll take good care of her, Mr. Cameron replied with a smile, his response carefully crafted. My parents had wholeheartedly handed me over to Mr. Cameron. I, however, felt like a lamb being led to the slaughter. Apparently, none of them thought it necessary to consult me, the person most involved. After the new year, our relationship deepened. Using my parents as an excuse, Mr. Cameron took it upon himself to look after me. He cooked dinner at my apartment every evening, leaving promptly after washing the dishes. Every morning, his wake-up call roused me, and his car waited downstairs with a hot breakfast. Everyone at work knew he was pursuing me, tacitly acknowledging our relationship. Chloe, seeing how pampered I had become, shook her head. Audrey, you must have saved the galaxy in a past life to deserve a man like this. I felt like I was dreaming. It all felt too good to be true. One afternoon, I was enjoying a red bean milk tea Mr. Cameron had bought me, waiting for him to finish a meeting. Someone told me my cousin was here to see me. My brow furrowed. The milk tea suddenly seemed less appealing. I went to the lobby. There she was, Clara, in a tight, low-cut floral dress, holding a beautifully wrapped box. She sashayed towards me. Audrey, I came to see you, she said, her eyes darting around the office. I knew that look. It was the same look she wore whenever she was about to take something from me. I'm working, Clara. If you have something to say, we can talk after work, I said coldly. She ignored me, holding up the box. I just made this mousse cake. I thought you and Mr. Cameron might like to try some. As I suspected, she wasn't here for a friendly visit. She tried to push past me, but I blocked her path. Clara, this is my workplace, not your home. Please leave. She bit her lip, feigning hurt. Audrey, I'm just being nice. She looked so innocent anyone would think I was the one being cruel. My smile turned icy. I folded my arms, determined to keep her away from Mr. Cameron. Does Ethan know you're here, Clara? At the mention of Ethan's name, her expression shifted from wounded to hostile. Audrey, don't think you can hold on to Mr. Cameron forever. I can steal him away from you with a snap of my fingers. I laughed. Clara, you won't succeed every time. Seeing that her plan had failed, she huffed and stormed out in her high heels. I watched her go, a flicker of unease in my chest. Back in my office, I paced, feeling anxious. Just as I was about to lose my mind, Mr. Cameron arrived. My colleagues teased us, and I blushed as he led me into his office. The first thing I saw was Clara's cake box in the trash can. Jealous or worried? He chuckled, pulling me into a hug. He was right on both counts. What did you do? I asked, my voice small and uncertain. I called your parents and asked them to have someone take Clara home. And the office has security cameras. I had the footage copied and sent to the family group chat. What? I grabbed my phone. Sure enough, Mr. Cameron had joined the group chat 10 minutes ago and posted a video. I clicked on it. It showed Clara entering the office and practically throwing herself at Mr. Cameron. Clara had been publicly humiliated. Your parents even praised me for handling it well, he said, his eyes twinkling with amusement. Tears welled up in my eyes. I hugged him tighter. I had been genuinely worried, but I had bet on the right man. Mr. Cameron was not Ethan. Ethan couldn't hold a candle to him. He kissed my hair. Feeling better now? I still remember a certain drunk, heartbroken woman pouring her heart out to me the other night. I laughed. So that's how he knew about Clara. I playfully pushed against his chest. Were you making fun of that heartbroken woman all night? His gaze deepened. I was worried about her all night, he said softly. My eyes moistened and I hugged him even tighter. That evening, Mr. Cameron had a business dinner, so I went home alone. As I reached my building, Ethan was waiting for me. Audrey, he said, his face unshaven and haggard. He looked like a shadow of his former self. I ignored him and tried to walk past. He spread his arms, blocking my way. Audrey, can't we be friends, even though we broke up? I scoffed. No. Good exes are like dead people. I suggest you embrace that role. I had never spoken to him like this before. His face fell. He shook his head. You've changed. You've both changed. I stopped and looked at him. He looked defeated. Clara hasn't been talking to me lately. She doesn't answer my calls and always says she's busy. I burst out laughing. So, some things never change, do they? He looked at me confused. What do you mean? I pointed towards the recycling bins nearby. She likes picking up trash. But after a while, she gets bored and throws it away. What? He stared at me, bewildered. Suddenly, I thought of something even more amusing. Oh, you're not in our family group chat, are you? Let me forward you a video. I sent him the video Mr. Cameron had posted, along with all the praising comments from our relatives. Enjoy, I said, turning and stepping into the elevator. I didn't want to spend another minute with him. At the company's annual dinner, I stuck to soft drinks, remembering my last experience. Lisa clapped her hands. Time for our company tradition, truth or dare. I chuckled nervously, avoiding Mr. Cameron's gaze. He, however, seemed intrigued by the game. Everyone cheered as the spinning wheel was brought out. It landed on Mr. Cameron. My stomach tightened, dreading a potentially embarrassing dare. But he chose truth. Mr. Cameron, did you finally win Audrey over? Someone shouted. My heart pounded. Mr. Cameron smiled at me and nodded calmly. I'm currently in the trial period. Still working on it. My head spun and my face flushed. The room erupted in cheers, anticipating my official promotion to Mrs. Cameron. Blushing furiously, I urged them to continue the game. Mr. Cameron spun the wheel. It landed on me. It's destiny. Lisa shrieked. Audrey, truth or dare? I hesitated. Dare, I said. This clearly excited everyone. They grinned mischievously. Kiss Mr. Cameron again. My face burned. Amidst the cheers, I walked over to Mr. Cameron, grabbed his collar and pulled him up. His eyes twinkled with anticipation. Before I could even stand on my tiptoes, he cupped the back of my head and kissed me deeply. A long, lingering kiss that left me breathless. I clung to his collar, my legs weak. When the kiss ended, he pulled me into a hug, and I could hear his heart racing. The room erupted in applause. That night, having only had soft drinks, I was surprisingly sober. Mr. Cameron, however, was slightly drunk. Lisa, looking hazy, said, Audrey, you're sober. He's all yours. She hiccuped and waved us off. I took him home. I helped him onto the sofa and went to the bathroom for a wet towel. Here, wipe your face, I said, handing it to him. He shook his head playfully, turning his face towards me. You wipe it for me. I sighed and gently wiped his face. When I reached his lips, the memory of our earlier kiss made me blush. Quickly moved on. Was it good? He whispered in my ear. What? I asked, confused. He pointed to his lips. Was it good? He was a charmer, a heartbreaker, and I was completely smitten. I nodded shyly. Yes, it was good. Soft and springy, better than gummy bears. He flashed a devilish grin. Then try it again. He leaned in and kissed me, stealing my breath away. I don't know how long we kissed or how we ended up on the bed. Audrey, he murmured, his voice husky. I answered softly, my voice barely a whisper. He chuckled and leaned closer. Want to try out your future boyfriend privileges? Perhaps it was his dazzling smile, his sculpted physique, or the fact that my heart had completely surrendered. I nodded. Future boyfriend? He was more like a captivating siren. Mom, Dad, I finally found you a worthy son-in-law.